My VC Dale Gatefold 33 here. This is a response video to Ron Haggerty's 10 questions, where each question relates to the number of that question. So I thought I'd have a go at this. It's been quite a taxing video to put together. So and interesting, obviously all the same. So first one is I've got the questions here in front of me. So let me just bring up on the screen. First one is a one-off band with only one studio album. So I've chosen here the psych folk partnership that was Trader Horn and their album Morning Way. This is a reissue from a few years ago, a very lavish reissue put out on the Flashback label, which I'll talk about in a second. So they were Judy Dybel, who had been the first female vocalist with Fairport Convention on their first album, and Jackie McCauley. So they got together to produce this album, and it often features on psych comps, certainly Morning Way, the title track does. So this came with various paraphernalia, a booklet about them, some poster, a picture, there they are, and a certificate. It was numbered, so it said it was released on Flashback label. So if you know Flashback, they periodically, or they haven't done for a while, put out some pretty again lavish magazines. They do it kind of, well, they haven't done one for a few years, but these are kind of psych related, glossy, quite detailed. I've done 8, I think. I've got 7 of them, and Richard Morton Jack, who runs the label, runs the magazine, also is the author of the Galactic Ramble, which covers all UK psych related releases. This is the latest one that was put out, I think, earlier this year, and is a pretty weighty tome. I did weigh it. I bought, this is not bedtime reading. I think it's about 4.4 kilos in weight. So if you fell asleep reading this, you would probably lobotomize yourself. So I'll put that back. So that's Trader Horn and Flashback, the label, and Trader Horn Morning Way, the album. Second question: 2 of a kind albums, bands of the same name. So I've got 2 albums that are pretty close. So the first one, C. Duncan's Midnight Sun. So C. Duncan has released a couple of albums. I think I've got 2. So I've certainly got 2. This is the second, and I think he's a solo artist. I think it's a he. Is a solo artist who kind of plays all the instruments and self-records everything. Either, I don't know if it's a home studio or in the studio, and it's kind of indie, very kind of mellow or lo-fi. That's the wrong word. Mellow kind of indie music. So that's that, the first one. And the second, also called Midnight Sun, is by Ghost, which stands for Ghost of a Saber-Toothed Tiger, which is their album Midnight Sun. So this is a collaboration between Sean Lennon and his partner. So Sean Lennon is probably more familiar. I've certainly seen on the VC. So Charlotte Kemp Mule is Sean Lennon's partner, and he is, I've seen him, is in part of the Claypool Lennon Delirium, and I've seen that their releases featured a number of times on the VC. But this is him and his partner, their release, and the Ghost of a Saber-Toothed Tiger's name, and it's very good. Psych, modern pop psych, neo psych album. Number 3, question 3. Let me get the questions back up. Third time's a charm. So a band that took 3 albums to click. So and I think Ron said it didn't. The first 2 albums didn't have to be poor albums, and certainly in this case, I don't think they are. So the band I've chosen is Aphrodite's Child, because I think they are most well known for their third album, 666. This is a kind of VC staple over the years. Originally released on Vertigo. This is a reissue, but not. It's got the Vertigo replica label, but it isn't a Vertigo original. So I'll show the inside of the gatefold, which is a little bit more exciting perhaps than this. So this was their third album. Their first album was End of the World, which I have shown previously, and then they did another album called It's 5 O'Clock, which I have on CD but not on vinyl. And this is, I say, this is where I think they are most famous. Question 3, 4 in a row. So I've got these wrong way around. 4 albums. So I've got 5. Because I don't know, one of them live, so I don't know if it counts. So I'm not going to get them all out of the sleeves. But I'm going with the Almond Brothers band. So may not be perfect albums, but I think they did some really strong material to start with. And I've not shown them before. So this is their debut album. This is Idlewild South. Then, as I say, the one I don't know if it counts, At Fillmore East. But it was again a very strong album. Eat a Peach. And then if At Fillmore East doesn't count, then Brothers and Sisters was a pretty good album. Not perfect probably. So there's 5 albums there, and I think they'll feature again in one of the others. So I'll leave them down there. Question 5, Fifth Dimension, so something space or the unknown. So I've just chosen a band that happens to have space in its title. So this is the Space Spectrum, and the album is Drone Jams Volume 2, and this is our instrumental, droney, spacey, space rock, heavy psych, or call it what I like, album. And the album, so the band's called Space Spectrum, the Space Spectrum. So pick that for that question. Question 6 was a 6-piece band, so I'll go back to Almond Brothers. Certainly their first few albums, they were a 6-piece band, or so 6-member band. So I'll choose that. 7 was album or song with God in the title, so I've gone for XTC and Dear God, and this is the 12-inch single of Dear God. So I'm thankful to Ron actually for making me do this, because I stored all my 12-inch singles in a kind of cloth box in the Calax, and I didn't realise that at the back they weren't supported, and they were all, when I opened it up, they were all kind of bent like this. So I hope they haven't all warped, but at least maybe I've caught it. So if I hadn't delved into the back of my 12-inch singles, which I don't go very often, I wouldn't have found that out. Anyway, that's a needless aside. 8, Unity, song about unity. So I don't have this on vinyl, but I thought I would pick Primal Scream's Screamadelica and the 10-minute or so song Come Together, which has got obviously a lot about unity, particularly unity in the kind of recent climate. So I thought I would pick that song. 9, what's 9? Number of Finality, so the last album to feature a member. So this was a bit of a bit of a toughie. And what do we do before the internet? Well, I'll tell you what we did before the internet. We would we'd get this thing out, the rock family trees, and we would delve through these. So I thought, I had an idea that I wanted to pick. Actually, I wanted to pick Chris Wood from Traffic, and so rather than be lazy and just go to Wikipedia or whatever it was, I got this out, and I got the Procol Traffic family tree, and I worked through it, and I realised that Chris Wood didn't actually leave Traffic, but Dave Mason did, left and came back and left and came back, which led me to this album, the what's it called, Welcome to the Canteen, which is a live album. So I think this came about, they did half a dozen live shows featuring Dave Mason having returned to Traffic, and this is a mix of Traffic songs and actual Dave Mason solo songs from his first album for around the same time, and I think it came to nothing in terms of they weren't prepared to take it further and tour it wider, so they got this album out, and it's a great album, very good live album. Says someone who's not a massive fan of live albums, so this is a good album, but yeah, I think it was the last time that Dave Mason featured with Traffic. And then question 10, the X Factor, X in the title. So I've been extremely stretching the point here. So I've gone with the Rolling Stones 12 times 5. So there's an X in the title. Sorry about that. So that's me. So thanks for the idea, Ron. I enjoyed that, and yeah, found it a challenge. Cheers, bye.